guys, I'm Laura Vitale. On this episode of Laura in the Kitchen, I'm going to show you how to make a chocolate chip cookie dough cheesecake. It's basically like a super smooth and velvety cheesecake, and the base is chocolate chip cookie dough. Now, I originally made this recipe with cooked, baked chocolate chip cookies and more of a crumb. But what I really wanted was the texture of a chewy cookie. You know what it's like when you bake cookies and that beautiful chewy texture? That's what I wanted the base to be, so that's why I'm doing it this way. It's so good and you're gonna love it. Let me run you through the ingredients to make the cookie base. You'll need all-purpose flour, baking soda and salt, semi-sweet mini chocolate chips, granulated sugar and brown sugar, melted butter, egg, and vanilla extract, and that is it. I've got my oven preheating to 350. I have a 9-inch springform pan sprayed with nonstick spray. I like to just wrap the outside of it with some aluminum foil. And I'm gonna make the base in a bowl with just a spatula and a whisk, so it's super easy. All right, let's start with the melted butter. I find that by using melted butter instead of softened butter, you get a much more chewy texture. But you can use softened butter if you want to, and try to, sometimes brown sugar gets in these lumps and you just want to kind of, come on, want to get rid of them. So I'm just going to mix this together and try to get rid of as many lumps as I can. And you can do this in your standing mixer, fit it with a paddle attachment, but I don't need to do that right now, so I'm not going to. That's good enough. Add in the egg and a good splash of vanilla extract, and then just whisk it away. Normally I would do like I said before, a cookie base, but I'm just so in love with this recipe. I served it over the weekend. I actually was testing it for measurements and all, and I shared that on when we did a Facebook Live, just to chat with you guys. And I cannot tell you how big of a hit this cheesecake was. I mean, probably bigger hit than anything else I've ever done cheesecake-wise with my friends and family. Add your dry ingredients, which is the flour, baking soda, and salt. And then you can add your chocolate chips at the same time and just fold them in. This looks great. I'm gonna take the majority of this, probably about a little more than 2/3, like 3/4. And I'm going to leave a little bit of the cookie batter because I'm going to make some mini chocolate chip cookies to decorate the top of the cheesecake with, which you don't have to do, but it's not that hard, and it's just a little extra detail because everyone loves chocolate chip cookies. So I'm just going to take that out. And I like to put a lot of mini chocolate chips in mine. You can put regular, not minis. And then because this is sticky, I like to just take a little bit of flour with my hands because it helps press it down and not stick to, the dough not stick to your hands, and make it nice and even. That's pretty much it. My base is all pressed in, and I also wanted to mention that the oven's preheated to 325, not 350. Mommy brain. Now, to make the filling, super straightforward and super easy. What I've got here is some cream cheese, and it's important that it's softened at room temperature. And then you also need some sugar, eggs, sour cream, and vanilla. But before I add anything else, I'm just going to go ahead and use a handheld electric whisk and really mix the cream cheese well, just to make sure it's softened and then there are no lumps whatsoever, because any lumps of cream cheese will not melt in the cheesecake. And so you're left with lumps of cream cheese. It's just not appealing. Wonderful. And now you can pretty much add everything else in. You've got your sugar, you've got your eggs, and I've got, oh, is that a shell? I got it. Little tiny one. And then I've got my sour cream and a good splash of vanilla. And now just take your time with your mixer and mix it for a few minutes because you really want a smooth, velvety filling. Excellent. And those are not lumps, they're just bubbles from the mixing. You just want to give it a good stir, and make sure you give it a good stir around the sides of the bowl periodically as you're mixing this, because you want to make sure you end up with, like I said, no lumps of cream cheese. And then just pour this mixture over the crust. There's no pre-baking the crust, nothing. It is so easy, but it just yields the best cheesecake ever. We're pretty big fans, if you hadn't noticed. Okay, and now what I'm going to do, I'm going to place this on a baking sheet and pop it into the oven. Now this is when I need you to pay attention. You pop it into the oven for an hour and 10 minutes. After an hour and 10 minutes, you turn the oven off and you leave it in there without opening the oven for 2 hours. After those 2 hours, you want to just leave it at room temperature for a little bit, and then you want to pop it in the fridge overnight. So I'm not going to see you till tomorrow. Because it's just a lot of baking and then waiting around. I literally have to do nothing. But in the meantime, while this is in the oven for that 1 hour and 10 minutes, I'm gonna take the opportunity to take the leftover cookie dough and bake some mini chocolate chip cookies by just using a 1 teaspoon size ice cream scoop, or you could just use 2 little teaspoons to make little tiny cookies. And you bake them at 325 right along with the cheesecake for about 10 minutes or so, or until golden brown. So I'm just gonna pop this in, like I said, an hour and 10 minutes, turn the oven off, leave it for 2 hours, let it rest at room temperature for a little bit, like an hour or so, and pop it in the fridge overnight. It sounds like a lot of steps, but really it's just waiting around, and I promise you it'll be worth it once you get it, once you get a piece of it the next morning, or the next day at some point. All right, so my cheesecake has fully set and it's beautiful. There's not a crack on it, not that I really care, but there's no cracks on top. And remember, in the oven for an hour and 10 minutes, turn the oven off, let it sit for 2 hours, let it come to room temperature, and then pop it in the fridge overnight, and it is good to go. When it bakes, as it's baking, it will rise, but as it cools, it's going to fall and just like set in the most perfectly like creamy, luxurious way. What I have here is some whipped cream. You don't have to, but I just have some heavy cream that I whipped. I didn't sugar it or anything. I didn't sweeten it, didn't sugar it. I didn't sweeten it. I just like to pipe a little around, not a whole lot, and it really does not have to be perfect because you and I both know that I don't really care, but I just need a place to put my little cookies, because I did bake some extra chocolate chip cookies because, you know, I mean, it's cookies, you know what I'm saying? Who's gonna complain about extra cookies? And then I just kind of like to sit them all the way around, so it kind of gives people an idea that, hey, this is a chocolate chip cookie dough cheesecake. But how cute is that? And you guys know I'm not big on decorating. I'm not one for fancy things or anything like that, but really you're just doing something so minimal to get such a cute effect. It's worth it. Almost done. And then there's extras for snacking. That's good enough. How cute is that? That is a cheesecake you should be proud of to serve to your friends and family. I mean, it's beautiful, it's lovely, and like, look how thick that is. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna cut myself a piece because I can. Oh, it's so awesome. Cut all the way through to the cookie dough. Dun, dun, dun. Look how creamy that is. I mean, you can see just from the slice what I was talking about. Actually, let me turn it this way so you can see even better. Super creamy filling, right? Not hard at all. And the crust, you can actually see in the crust how chewy this is going to be. See that? Almost like a half-baked cookie. So good. You are gonna love it, and I'm gonna go in for a big bite like that. It's so good. It's ridiculous good. It is just creamy, chewy, chocolatey at the base. It's everything a good cheesecake should be, and it really should be on your table this weekend to enjoy friends and family, because it is worthy of a special occasion, a special dinner. It's just, you just need to make it. Go to laurainthekitchen.com to get the right recipe. Hope you enjoy spending time with me. I'm salivating over here. I'll see you next time. Bye.